In this video, I'm tackling one of the biggest projects I've ever done. I'll be swapping the engine on this BMW Z4. If you've seen my previous videos, I had a knocking issue with the engine. I tried changing the timing chain, but it turns out there's a lot more wrong with that engine than I initially suspected. So I've ordered a new engine and have replaced it in this car. As you can imagine, it's a huge job to do this in your garage at home. So I have sped up a lot of the video just to make it more convenient to watch. The video starts with the subframe already being dropped. I don't have that on video, but it should be pretty simple if you follow the technical manuals. I tried to capture as much as I could in the video, but some of the things are not included, such as dropping the subframe and a few other minor things. I hope it helps anybody that might want to do one of those projects themselves. It's not as hard as people say it is. It does take a long time, and you will need some special tools, such as an engine crane and things like that. Obviously a good mechanic tool set and different tools. Let's get to the actual swap. Well guys, after some considerable effort, the engine's actually finally out. Now the tricky part's getting it over the hood and just putting it somewhere. I'll have a pallet, I'm gonna put it on a pallet. But that's it, the engine's out, the new one's on the way. It's very exciting, I've never done this before. This has been pretty crazy, a little stressful, but hey, the engine's out. I'm gonna raise this hood up a little bit more, so I can get those extra, 10-15 inches out. But yeah, look at that. I'm excited for the new engine to come in. Should be here within a week. Put that one in and probably another day or two worth of work, connecting everything, testing, and the car should be ready to go. Ta-da! So I just spent the last 5 hours driving to Indiana for this thing. N20 engine for my Z4. As you can see, the old engine's right there. I pulled it out. You can check the video out in the description. So now I'm gonna have to swap out a few parts. I have the manifold with the turbo. It needs to go on the new one. The computer from the top. Alternator. Maybe a few small pieces here and there. But yeah, it should be a fairly quick process. Swap the parts, put the engine in the car, and just assemble. The good thing is that these engines are not super expensive. They came in a lot of cars, such as the 328, 528, 428, X1s, X3s, a bunch of other cars. Whichever car had the 2-liter engine came with this. Other than the ULEV, the ultra low emission vehicles, those had a modified engine that had like 50 less horsepower and all that stuff. So it's pretty important that you get the correct one. Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm gonna get it put in the car and finally get to drive this little beast of a summer car before the summer's over. Now that I have 2 engines in my possession, new one over there, all the one I'm working on right now, I removed the manifold and the exhaust part of the turbo housing. There's the rest of the turbo hanging on. I just have this line left to unhook, and this one's already done. This entire assembly should come off as well. As you can see, there's a lot of carbon buildup in this engine, which makes sense. This is over 100,000 miles on an engine, so even though it looks pretty good up top, nice and clean, all that carbon buildup. Yeah, almost there. Just gonna swap out a few parts, such as these, maybe some wiring loom, put it on that one, and then it's ready to be swapped in. I have now removed the 3 parts of the wiring loom on the engine. So as you can see, the old engine doesn't have any wires other than this one that goes to all the ignition stuff. Everything else has been removed. I have also removed the 2 parts of it from the old engine, and I only have this one left. It's been only held in by a couple of nuts here, and it's getting ready to be put into the new one. The reason I'm actually swapping the wiring looms, because this one came with all of them, is because this came from an automatic car. This is a manual car. So the wiring is a little bit different. There's a few plugs on each one that go to a different location or have a different connection. Like this one has stuff for the automatic. This one has a couple plugs that go to the manual in the back. As you can see, there's a sensor on top and there's another one on the bottom. So it has to be swapped. Starting to work on the clutch assembly, basically on the flywheel. I need to put it onto that engine that used to be an automatic. So I've removed the pressure plate. Looking at this, it does look a little funky, that's for sure, but the clutch itself seems to be in pretty good condition. There's still a lot of material left. Don't think this needs to be switching, but this might need be. Not 100% sure. Gonna ask a buddy that kind of works on cars and see what he thinks. All right, a little bit of progress on the engine. I swapped over the entire clutch assembly with the flywheel and the pressure plate. Also put in the starter, alternator, a few other things. My next big thing is to put in the exhaust or the turbo. And at that point, the engine's ready to go in the car. So after probably an hour or so, fiddling with the torques and all that stuff on the exhaust, getting the turbo in, getting all the lines in, replacing the O-rings, testing the water pump as well. I think the baby's ready to go in the car. Some of these may need to be removed, probably this one, because I already have that piping in here. But I figured I'm not going to remove that until I have it in. If anything, it should be pretty easy. Yeah, let's see how this one goes in. So it's been a pretty good struggle getting that engine in. I stopped filming because it's probably been like an hour and a half. You can see I'm super close now and I'm finally more or less lined up. I'm using a jack with a piece of wood and crane. I used a bunch of blocks at certain points to kind of keep it sort of straight. Hopefully it's gonna go in now. I'm just gonna try to get a bolt and start pulling it in slowly. And yeah, I really hope it's gonna align properly and everything. It's been a huge hassle, honestly. So far the hardest part is getting it in is not a problem, but actually aligning it and making it fit where it's supposed to be, being in the right angle and everything. It's been a lot of work. She works! Whoop, 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 whoop. First start, well, second start. I put some coolant in her. Oil is in there. No leaks so far. Smoking a little bit because it's burning up all the crap on the exhaust. As you can see, guys, the car is running, Give her a little wash so she doesn't look homeless anymore. I do still have a lot of issues to figure out with the car, but that's going to be the next video. But this concludes the engine swap video. I think this was actually a really good deal on the car. Yes, it still has issues, but those are all, you know, can be taken care of. Looks great for what it is. And it's even shiny, like can't beat that. Engine runs pretty decent at the moment. The only issue that I have right now is that it's not building boost. So there's some pipe that is most likely loose or has a hole or something. I'm gonna have to get into that. Well, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.